Who owns the K in K content? From K-pop Demon Hunters to Katseye, Western origins blur the line. The massive global success of Netflix's hit animated film, K-pop Demon Hunters, has set off something of an identity crisis for Korea's cultural sphere. The one question echoing across the country's content and media industry is deceptively simple. What exactly counts as K-content? The question stems from a barrage of recent triumphs under the K banner, from Korean literature, films and series to music, musicals, and animation, which, upon closer inspection, share surprisingly little beyond varying degrees of Korean elements or involvement. It is not the first time the industry has faced such existential musings. K-pop has long been facing similar debates for years now, as groups like Katseye and XG push the definition of the genre well beyond its birthplace. As the K label grows looser in meaning, this introspection leads to a bigger question. If the ownership of the K brand no longer stays solely in Korean hands, what does that mean for these industries' future? The dilemma is compounded by the rising dominance of global capital. For skeptics, the concern is not only about who finances the production, but also who ultimately controls the narrative and profits that define the latest Korean wave. At this turning point, experts argue that defining the financial borders of K-content in a borderless marketplace means little compared to the bigger challenge of building a lasting cultural identity in the modern era, something that Koreans themselves have been grappling with amid an unprecedented cultural expansion. Introspection into K-ness. While K-pop Demon Hunters certainly reignited the latest round of debates, modern Korean culture has always been a hybrid, shaped by foreign influences as much as by domestic traditions. The global breakthrough of K-pop in the late 2010s, led by juggernauts BTS and Blackpink, and amplified during the pandemic, marked a turning point. But even in its earliest form, K-pop was never entirely homegrown, and its evolution over the years has been driven by a global network of songwriters, producers, and choreographers. By the mid-2000s, SM Entertainment had already begun to actively buy songs from the United States and Europe, said Choi Jin-suk, the global A&R executive of creation music rights under SM Entertainment, during the MUCON conference on September 10th. Pointing out that some of K-pop's biggest hits, like Girls' Generation's Genie 2009 and TVXQ's Myrotic 2008, were produced by studios in Northern Europe. K-pop quickly absorbed the songwriting structure of the United States and Europe and recreated them into something new through a unique Korean lens, Choi noted. In recent years, the industry has gone even further, debuting groups that defied traditional definitions of K-pop. That is one of the reasons many K-pop fans debate whether HYBE's Katseye, which consists almost entirely of non-Korean members, except one, but was developed through a K-pop production system, could or should be considered a K-pop act. But such questions mean little, considering that overseas audiences already call the genre K-pop anyway, said Lee Gyu-tag, a professor of cultural studies at George Mason University, Korea. If certain songs are marketed and branded as K-pop for global listeners, they are K-pop songs. Debates on whether they should be considered Korean don't really mean much when they are already perceived as such. Still, Lee emphasizes that public discourse about what constitutes modern Korean culture is essential. Many Koreans still associate the Koreanness only with traditional elements, he said. For Korea to further foster its cultural ecosystem, embracing the contemporary Korean culture is integral going forward. And the same question has also been affecting film and television. The record-breaking popularity of K-pop Demon Hunters, a Hollywood-backed, globally marketed animation with Korean inspirations, has made many Koreans wonder, Can we celebrate it as another triumph for Korean culture, as we did with homegrown successes like Parasite 2019 or Squid Game 2021 to 25? Korean gaze and global lens. Many global titles carrying the K label may appear to be part of the same wave, but in reality, they're from vastly different roots. Some are crafted by Korean creators with domestic audiences as their primary focus, while others are driven by diasporic or international producers and use Korean themes to explore questions of identity and heritage. Take Squid Game, one of the most groundbreaking hits that redefined the possibilities of K-content. The series was helmed by director Hwang Dong-hook, who repeatedly admitted in 2021 that he never expected it would resonate so powerfully with people around the world. Similarly, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, which made history as the first non-English language film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture, was a deeply Korean story of class struggle and was crafted squarely within Korea. Hong Kong's Nobel Prize win in literature and the massive global success of the reality TV show Culinary Class Wars 2024 are also two examples of Korean storytelling and narratives reaching a wider global audience. On the other hand, Oscar-winning film Minari 2020 was directed by Lee Isaac-chung, a second-generation Korean immigrant, and explored diasporic themes. Netflix's Beef 2023 and Exo Kitty 2023 onward are also crafted by Korean-American creators from immigrant backgrounds, with the latter set specifically in Korea. For these works, Korea and its culture serve as themes, inspirations, or a physical setting. Some projects fall in between, such as the Tony Award-winning musical Maybe Happy Ending, which was co-created by Korean writer Hugh Park and U.S. composer Will Aronson. KPop Demon Hunters, created by Korean-Canadian director Maggie Kang and produced internationally, triggered new questions as the film is still steeped in Korean identity, aesthetics, and soundtrack, and is widely acclaimed for its accurate depiction of authentic Korean culture. In an exclusive interview with the Korea Jungan Daily, Kang said that she has been asked whether K-pop Demon Hunters should be categorized as K-content. "I'm Korean. The idea for the film originated from me. Also, we had many Korean artists who contributed and put their hearts into it. So I think the soul of the movie is Korean, which I think ultimately makes it Korean." Uncharted waters. Yet the film's production structure underscores a stark reality, as the profits, like those of many other hits branded as K-content, largely flowed to non-Korean stakeholders, namely Netflix giants such as Netflix, which has fueled worries for some about the financial and cultural sustainability of Korea's domestic content ecosystem. But as Korea now enters a new era of its cultural evolution, the industry's current focus appears to be on seizing opportunities to accelerate its global reach. I agree that we should be concerned about Netflix and other similar global platforms hoarding financial gains, said Professor Lee. But from an academic perspective, this landscape serves as a cultural opportunity for Korea. Chai Hui-young, the Minister of Culture, Sports, and Tourism, echoed the sentiment, highlighting new opportunities that global players could provide. Some say Korea's cultural industry has reached its peak, saying there is only a downward slope ahead of us, the minister told the press on September 4th, referring to the lack of funds and creative infrastructure for domestic projects. Of course, it would be ideal if we could fully reap all the financial gains ourselves, but I believe the wisest path would be taking these many emerging new opportunities for our future as a cultural powerhouse. Safeguarding what is rightfully Korean while also remaining open to new opportunities is the most preferable approach, the minister said, stressing that pursuing a strictly made-in-Korea approach is not the way forward. Director Kang Yan-song, who's behind the Outlaws 2017 onward film franchise, said that there are no purely Korean works in today's industry landscape. There are many discourses about how K-pop Demon Hunters was created by overseas capital, but I believe there's no such thing as purely Korean works these days, with so many financing sources intertwined worldwide, said Kang during the BCWW 2025 conference on September 16th. If more diverse themes are explored through Korean creations, they will be global ones. Redefining K-ness. As the audience for Korean content has grown larger than ever, the industry is eager to tap into the growing momentum. To do so, experts suggest that the nation should first anchor its cultural identity from within. The Korean public has not been able to keep pace with the industry's territorial expansion, so building a sense of what is Korean is vital for Korea. From the perspective of the general Korean public, the success of K-pop Demon Hunters is an invaluable asset, said culture critic Kim Hun-sik, noting that its popularity will lay the groundwork for long-term interest in Korean culture, as younger generations who first encountered K content through the film are likely to carry that familiarity into adulthood.